Mount Cinnabon Volcano. Eruption in Indonesia. June 14th, 2015. Here are your news updates for today. Breaking news, breakingnews.com. Officials, this is 2 hours ago. Order schools closed Monday and shelters ready along Mexico's southwestern coast as Tropical Storm Carlos hits area. Two hours ago, transportation officials arrive on scene of Curo, Texas pipeline fire to put up barricades. First call came in at 8 p.m. Central Time. And that one's coming out of Reporter Blanca. Also, an hour ago, mechanical problems forces plane carrying Los Angeles Dodgers players to make emergency landing at Los Angeles Airport, officials say. Coming out of NBC LA. Also, you saw the pyroclastic eruption from Mount Cinnabon. That was yesterday on June 13th in Indonesia. Gigantic eruption. I'm also attaching some updates on Fukushima, so please stay tuned to this report. And just wanted to, I've been working on all kinds of different things, trying to figure out better videos for you guys. So, alrighty then, stay tuned. I've also put a lot of things in the recent uploads. Also, Project Camelot, the channel on YouTube, and Thor News has brought up something interesting. Texas might be in for an EMP tomorrow. There was some kind of whistleblower, but it's non-verifiable, so I take it with a grain of salt, but I must report on it in case it does happen. So heads up, be prepared for anything, especially in Texas with the weather, the rain. Terrible rain. Might be 12 inches of rain from now till Friday in certain parts. So please be safe out there and be prepared for anything. See you tomorrow on the flip side. Stay safe. News, energy news. U.S. Canada on June 7th, 2015. Government expert, West Coast will soon be hit by 800 trillion becquerels of Fukushima cesium-137, nearly equal to the amount of fallout deposited on Japan. Levels in Pacific higher than expected. Main body of surface plume has reached off coast of U.S. Never slowed down while crossing ocean, contrary to prediction.
In nuke news, another day, another ominous development in Fukushima. According to new numbers from the Tokyo Electric Power Company, TEPCO, the plant's operator, as many as 10% of that nuclear facility's containers may be leaking radioactive waste. And while the release of toxic chemicals into the environment is bad enough, this new problem comes with an added risk. It could cause a violent explosion. As one nuclear official told The Telegraph, since the leak was thought to be caused by a hydrogen buildup, quote, if the concentration level is high, a spark caused by static electricity could cause the container to explode. TEPCO, for its part, says there's no risk of an explosion right now, but the fact that we're still talking about what else could go wrong 4 years after Fukushima melted down is a story in and of itself. And with me now for more on all this is Paul Gunter, Director of the Reactor Oversight Project at Beyond Nuclear. Paul, welcome back.
Thank you, Tom.
It's great to have you with us. So what's going on here?
Well, this is another development. We have the Advanced Liquid Processing System, it is called. This is what's filtering out all the radioactivity in these hundreds of tons every day of radioactive water that are washing over these melted reactor cores, and they're filtering out some of the radioactivity. This is creating sludge on the bottom of these tanks that is not only extremely radioactive, but it's also chemically reactive, and it's generating hydrogen gas. And now we find that some of these tanks in this so-called advanced system were never installed relief valves. Some of the relief valves on these tanks are not operating, and in fact we're now we're seeing evidence that some of these tanks have reached levels of hydrogen gas that would explode if exposed to a spark or a flame.
Shades of the Hindenburg at Fukushima.
And the big concern here is that, you know, we have a situation where if these tanks explode, it would also spread radioactivity in greater concentrations, likely denying bigger areas of the plant to where workers could actually get in there. And so, you know, shrouding this reactor site in more radioactivity, you know, it's amazing. We're still, you know, seeing an accident completely out of control 4 years after the initial explosions.
Right. And they are still leaking radiation into the Pacific Ocean, are they not?
Hundreds of tons a day. I mean, this is, we see about, on average, about 300 tons by their estimates, but clearly the groundwater movement is taking a toll that is both unpredictable and uncertain. And, you know, just a couple of days ago, the Tokyo Electric Power Company confirmed that radioactivity in the port area of Fukushima Daiichi is at the highest level of radioactive contamination that it's ever been at. So we continue to see the radioactivity levels in the Pacific Ocean there, right at the plant, escalating, and without really any prior precedent. This is an accident that's really out of control.
Wow, wow. What should TEPCO be doing?
What should TEPCO be doing? I think that it's a big concern right now that there really isn't any measured response. We don't know exactly what to do. You know, TEPCO clearly has to open the country up to international aid, but you know, Tom, the problem is that this accident is beyond any technology right now. TEPCO admitted that trying to get at that radioactive core in these 3 units that is melted down, that technology does not exist today and may not exist for hundreds of years.
Wow. So this is why we really shouldn't have nuclear power anywhere in the world right now, isn't it? I mean, it's a case study. And we have just a minute left. We've talked about this before, is the radiation from Fukushima now clearly showing up in the United States?
The radiation is moving in a plume down around the coast of Alaska, down British Columbia, and you know, we're looking for signs of trace amounts of cesium-137, 134, especially the cesium-134. That's going to be the Fukushima signature, and we fully anticipate that it will turn up on the West Coast.
Wow, amazing stuff. Paul Gunter, it's always great to have you with us.
Thank you again, Tom.
Thanks so much, Paul.
Officials at Fukushima Daiichi have given more details about last week's leak of highly radioactive water. They say they had concerns about the hose that caused the leak, but workers didn't replace it because they were busy with other projects. Authorities at Tokyo Electric Power Company found out about the problem on Friday. They say a cracked hose caused as much as 15 tons of water to seep into a drainage channel. The water then leaked into the port that's managed by the plant. Workers tested the water and found the highest levels of radioactive substances since they began checking the port 2 years ago. Officials say the crack in the hose was caused by excessive bending. Those concerns had led them to replace similar equipment. TEPCO officials say they'll speed up the work. They're also putting together a manual to make sure the hoses receive proper checks.
A nuclear reactor in southwestern Japan has become the first to meet new government guidelines. They were put in place after the 2011 disaster at Fukushima Daiichi. The operator of the Sendai plant in Kagoshima Prefecture says restarting the reactor is likely to be delayed due to logistical problems. Officials at Kyushu Electric Power Company say they now expect to resume operations at the number 1 reactor in mid-August or later. The utility previously aimed for late July. Required inspections began in March. Before the restart, Japan's nuclear regulator needs to check the facility's severe accident protocols. The company notes it now plans to load nuclear fuel into the reactor early July. None of Japan's 43 reactors are currently online.